Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today we are going to mold my client who just got a touch-up in regards to her short cut. So the things that we're going to need is our leave-in conditioner, which you should always use a leave-in conditioner. You'll need your wrap foam, which I'm using the Elite Silk Wrap Foam, which is available as of December 25th. You'll also either need your wrap strips or end papers, or a conjunction of the two. It just depends on which you prefer. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray her down with the leave-in conditioner. The leave-in conditioner is for hydration and strength. A little goes a very long way, and it is also very soothing to the scalp. So whenever you are molding the hair, what I like to do is go ahead and position the hair in the direction that I already know I want it to go. So if you're molding your hair, you want to mold in the direction that you're going to most likely style your hair. So for her, we're going to be going towards the face, and then her sides and back, of course, are going to be going down, or you can slant it however you choose. And then we're going to go ahead and add our Elite Silk Wrap Foam. So let me go ahead and put the foam in my hand. I do not like to use the foam nozzle on the head. I think that's just kind of like cross-contamination. You're touching different clients' heads with the same nozzle, and you're not disinfecting it, which I know most of the time we don't even think to disinfect the nozzle on our products when we use them in regards to them touching the client's head, okay? So for the actual mold, I like to start in the back. Took it down for me, Mama. And I'm using my comb, but I'm also smoothing the hair at the same time. So you can do this in two different ways. Some people like to go in a slanted motion, which is what I'm going to do with her. But then when I get to the nape of the neck, I want that area, of course, to lay down. I want it to go in the downward motion in the nape. So you can do that, or you can go all in the same direction. It is your choice. Once again, you are styling or molding the hair based on the style that you're going to be doing on your client's head. Now for the front, if your client has any type of trouble areas, this is the time when you really want to make sure that your mold is covering those areas, because typically when the mold dries, where it dries is where it most likely will stay, and it will be very complicated for you to change that mold direction after it's dried, okay? So you want to keep that in mind when you are molding your client's hair. So for the front, which is really the meat and potatoes of the style, this is where your client sees, of course, your finish is everything. So you want to make sure that your front is just as smooth as you started in the back. If you cannot get the front that smooth, most likely, sometimes the clients do not want to get a fresh relaxer at that time, and you do your absolute best just to make sure that your front is very smooth, or as smooth as you can possibly make it. Now for her sideburns or the temple area, this is where you also want to mold. So we're not going to mold her and leave her like this. That means that we're going to work very hard when it's time to actually curl her hair. So what I like to do is make sure that my sides are molded in regards to the design I want the sideburns to be, whether it be you're doing waves. If you're doing waves, then now would be the time to do it. In her case, I am not doing waves. So I want my sideburns to be very smooth, and then I use my comb to kind of mold the hairline, okay? So you want to mold your hairline to however you want it to be. I like chunky sideburns, so I am going to leave it chunky. And so now that we've done one side, the hair is actually going to go towards her right, my left, right? I don't like lines in my short styles, so I like to make sure that the hair itself does not have a part when I'm actually doing the mold. So if you notice, I didn't actually part out a line in her hair like that. You want to stay away from lines unless that style is that's exactly what you're going for. In her case, I am not going for that. So I am going to really bring the hair towards the face, mold out my sideburns once again, or lay them out, whatever terminology you want to use, okay? And you want to make sure that your sideburns or your temple area or your hairline is molded the way that you want it to be styled when it's time for the style or curl. Now in this area, this is what we call accents. Some people like to do different things here. They like to flip it up, whatever the case may be. But for the drying process, I like to leave the crown as straight as possible, because that area is usually the most dense, and it does take the most or the longer time to dry, okay? So at this point, you can do one of two things. Some people their hairline likes to revert or singe up or whatever the word is. So you can take a little bit of styling gel, just about that much. I'm gonna have you tilt forward for me. And this is the area where it scrunches the most. Usually right under your occipital bone is where the hair likes to do this scrunch motion, or it tucks under or it flips out. So you can sometimes take a little bit of gel and lay it in that area. You don't want to go too much higher than the occipital bone, because then you're going to have a hard time trying to curl through that, okay? So what I'm doing is I just laid a little bit of gel in this area. It is not a requirement that you do this. This is more for when needed. After you put the gel in that area, you do need to go back over it with a little more wrap foam so it will keep the area soft. If not, it's going to be a little harder or crunchier, or however you want to call it. So you want to make sure that you put some more wrap foam over that area to soften the area back up. Now, this is where preference comes in. Some people, which I learned this technique from another stylist by the name of T Queasy here in Orlando, you can use end papers to lay on those areas so that they dry smooth and it doesn't scrunch up. And this was a brilliant technique. So thank you, T Queasy, for showing me this technique, because this really is a game changer for me. It allows the hair to dry a lot faster, and you can typically tell if the hair is dry because the end papers will fall off. So I like this technique. The only downside to this technique is if the hair is not freshly relaxed, or if it's not laying down 100% in regards to being very, very smooth, this technique doesn't really work very well. And then at that point, you want to go ahead and use your wrap paper. This is not a neck strip. This is wrap paper, so it's a lot thicker than the end paper that a barber would use. So I usually put the end papers on the hairline. You can put it over the ear if you choose. In her case, I'm only going to put it at the nape of the neck and on her sideburns. And then if you want added security, you can go ahead and add your wrap strip, which I will do that for everything else. And then I just do one simple tie. Now, if you notice, I did not pull it around her head as I was putting it on. I stretch it out first, place it on the head, and then tie it in the front, because you don't want to disturb your mold. That's very important. If you disturb your mold, you're going to work a lot harder when it comes time for the curling process. So we're going to go ahead and clean off her neck for any excess product, and then she'll go under the dryer for between 45 minutes and an hour. Now, every client is different in regards to dry time, and of course, every dryer is different in regards to dry time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, thumbs up my video, tell me what you use to wrap your hair, and also keep in mind, once again, all of these different things that I taught you today is optional, okay? It's very, very optional. It's not set in stone how you do it, and there's no right or wrong way. So once again, I'm Crystal from Elite Hair Care USA. And don't forget, launch day for our Elite Silky Foam is December 25th, 2019. See ya.